These are my compost bins. Not a particularly wonderful thing to be showing off, you might think. Well, these are in my front garden. I've made them to look as nice as I could, obviously, because it's the first thing people see when they arrive in my house. But actually, for me, it was a good place to put them because we're quite shady in the front garden here. So I can't grow in this particular space. It's underneath an oak tree. So actually, it was a good spot to put the compost bins. You'll notice they're fairly solid construction. There's a reason for that. I've had problems over the years with rats. It seems that whenever I build a compost bin, I get rats attracted to it, and they particularly go for any food scraps you put in. And in a town, that's a very quick way to fall out with your neighbours. So you need to avoid rats. So I built these bins, and they're the latest of a long line of compost bins that I've made. I built these bins firstly rat-proof. And they're the first bins I've had that I've had no problem with rats in. They're made of brick. They're on a strip foundation which goes yay deep into the soil, so there's no burrowing underneath. Solid brick all the way around, backs onto a brick wall. As you can see, they've got nice solid doors with no gap, good heavy lids, absolutely rat-proof. And as a result, I can put food scraps in here. We even put bits of sort of cheese and fish and things like that in. It all makes good compost. The rats may be very frustrated by it, but they don't get in and we don't have any problems. One side effect I found since I made these bins is a brick bin seems to be making much better compost. I've had, as we all have, compost making isn't easy. I've had problems over the years with compost in a wooden sided bin or something that's got a lot of air gaps around the outside. Compost not really composting except in the centre. It's always drying out around the edge. And one thing I've found is that these bins, although they're not letting much air in, so there's perhaps not enough aeration if you're doing it by the book, the moisture is controlled right the way to the edge of the bin. It's very, very damp. And making brilliant compost. So good that I don't turn these bins. I know it's in the manuals, you turn your bin, but I'm not turning these. I think that because they're so well moisturised, if you like, right to the edge, I'm building up quite a fauna of slugs and woodlice and some quite mechanically active creatures. That if I look inside the bin, and we'll look in this one in a minute, they're actually turning the compost over for me. It's quite incredible. But we'll have a look in a sec. The other feature of the bins, I've got 3 of them. You might notice that the brickwork on this one looks like it's been glued on, and it actually has. I started with 2. I know you're supposed to have 3. I've had 3 in the past, and I ended up having to go to 3 again. So build 3 compost bins. The reason is you have one is filling, that's this one here, putting all sorts in there. This one is full, this will be composting down over the next few months. And this one has got mature compost in it, which I'm storing until I need it. So 1, 2, 3 bins, you can't really do it any other way. I did have just these 2 bins, and I ended up shoveling compost out and trying to store it in bags so that I could use this bin, and whilst this one was rotting down, and it just didn't work. So build yourself 3. Another thing, when we've got this one open, I just want to look a little bit at the contents, because there are some rules for good compost making. They're in the manuals, but I'll point them out now because what I've got here in front of me is a very good example. Greens and browns. Ideally have a 50-50 mixture of green stuff. Well, it's fairly obvious what that is, any green leafy material. Browns can be, in this case, cardboard, straw from the chicken bedding, leaves, brown leaves, all that sort of thing. If you mix it half and half, apparently that really is the way to make the best compost. There's a chemical reason for it, which I don't fully understand myself, so I won't try and go into it. But all I do know is that greens and browns work well. Another thing I put in here, which might shock a few people, but it comes back to what I was saying earlier about the rat proofing. Because rats will go for foodstuffs, I'd learned with my bins of yore not to put anything from the kitchen in, really, sort of bread or cheese or anything like that, they go straight for. But from day one I started putting in all sorts of things in here that you wouldn't normally put in compost. We're mainly vegetarians in this house, so we don't have much in the way of meat, but we sometimes have a bit of fish, something like that, and obviously cheese, butter if it's going a bit rancid and so on. Put it all in. Again, anything organic now, but if you keep the rats off, is making compost for me, and it's making it fine. I believe even old clothes can go in if you just have cotton, although modern materials don't go in so well. But we put all sorts in here. You know, it just turns into brown stuff. It's great. Oh, one exception: tea bags. In the days before I changed to paper tea bags, these are entirely paper, I found a year later I was digging up little skeletal tea bags. Quite scary actually, because most tea bags, obviously I'm in Britain, this is a tea bag, it has tea in it. Most tea bags have sort of a plastic or a polymer skeleton on which paper is sort of sprayed, and you only see that when it's gone through the compost. But be very careful about your tea bags, because you're introducing microplastics into your garden, into your food supply, and that's not a good thing. Or find paper tea bags, 100% paper. So there we go, compost. So let's have a look in here. This is the bin that's got the mature compost in. Have a look around. Yeah. So you can see it's quite a nice brown loam. Lots of humus in there. Nicely decayed, ready to go. There's a few little sort of bits of stalk and so on, but you can sieve them out if you want. What I want to look at is just two things. First of all, look at this life. Now, here's the woodlice on the compost, all around the bin. Now, we don't normally, as gardeners, like to see too many of these, but they've been in this compost bin ever since I closed the lid and let it mature. They like the damp environment. The other thing I want to look at, and it's to do with the woodlice, is the fact that this compost is good right to the edges. Now, this bin has never been turned over. Stuff was just put in layers, and it right into the far corner, right up to the edge. It's perfectly usable compost. And the secret, I think, is these little creatures. Because although today they're around the edges of the bin, they've largely finished eating the compost. If I'd come in here a few months ago, the surface of the compost is almost alive. It's almost like it's jumping up and down. And I'm no scientist, but I'm convinced that the presence of the woodlice in large numbers, see, look at them all there. And the presence of the woodlice in large numbers like this is turning the compost bin. I think that there's so much mechanical activity going on in here that the compost, over a period of time, with the aid of these creatures, is literally turning itself. I think one of the secrets of this bin is because it's such a good holder of moisture, that the bricks are really controlling the damp in here. It's neither too dry nor it's too wet for the woodlice. I think I've hit on a formula, which means this bin, it does not need turning. And this isn't an isolated phenomenon, I've had this year after year with these bins. Compost, I put it in layers, and it just doesn't need turning over. Let me show you the layering system. So here's a bin that's been filled this year. As you can see, there's all sorts in there. Food, cardboard, bits and pieces, garden scraps. We just dig down a bit. Manure from the chicken run. It's already starting to break down. And this won't be turned. I'll never turn it. But look in detail, we can see the woodlice. They're starting to get to work. And in my unscientific little brain, these guys are turning the compost over for me. Certainly, I'll leave this now There's their mates, look, a few slugs too, decomposers. All part of the process. See, there's a lot of slugs there. All these creatures between them will do all the composting for me. I won't need to get in. All I need to do, keep the lid down, make sure the moisture's at a reasonable level, reasonably damp, not too wet, not too dry, and that will end up in a few months' time like the compost in this bin. So there to there, without turning.